Stay tuned for the biggest fish, the hottest bites, this week here on In-Depth Outdoors. With James Holst.
Look at that. Wow, is that an incredible fish?
And the rest of the IDO fishing team. We're headed to the best fisheries across the upper Midwest and Canada. We'll fish longer, explore unfished bodies of water, and go further off the beaten path in search of the hottest bites in fresh water. With Pat McSherry.
All right, what a fish.
And Andy Fiocca.
Wow. Get the colors on this fish.
This is In-Depth Outdoors.
Good morning, everyone. I'm James Holst with In-Depth Outdoors, and on today's show we head to Webster, South Dakota to fish with Marcus Quam of Real Therapy Guide Service. Now, Marcus and I spend quite a bit of time fishing in the summer off camera, and this is one of the first times we're going to be able to get out on the ice together to try to shoot an In-Depth Outdoors TV show. Our main goal here today is to try to get some nice walleye on the ice, but what ends up happening is we run into some really fun multi-species action. So do stick around. We got a great show coming for you here today on In-Depth Outdoors. All right, so here's the deal. Out here in South Dakota fishing with my good buddy Marcus, and real winter has arrived. We're gonna get some really extreme temperatures. We're kind of sheltered here right now, so that's gonna help, but the wind's gonna kick pretty good today. And what we're after a walleye bite. We're gonna throw out some iFish Pros, get those suckers kicking, and then we're gonna hop around and do some jigging. And even though it's really cold now, there's still open water on just about every lake we've looked at, including this one. Just over my shoulder here, there's a big chunk of open water. So when you come out here in the next couple of weeks, remember that not everything froze evenly. A week from now, that's gonna have 3-4 inches of ice, where this will have a foot. So keep that in mind. Got him! Holy crap! Woo! Yeah!
What'd you get there?
It's a striped bus. I don't know why I put my hand in there, because
Look at that one.
First fish of the day.
Man, that's a big one.
Wow. Look at that. He was going nowhere.
He chopped her.
That's a South Dakota perch right there. That is a piggy. And that one's gonna go home with me. I don't expect I'm gonna keep very many today. Actually, you know what? He might have to go home, because he's right up in the grill there a little bit. Beautiful perch. Let's catch some more like that.
Yes.
What I loved about that is that fish came up like a missile. There was no doubt about what was gonna happen, and he woofed it.
Yeah, they are fun.
Cool start. Wow, it's a big perch. Bait of choice here today, or at least what I've started with, 1/8 ounce, a rattle spoon, UV green, kind of a confidence bait for me. That perch gave it a big thumbs up. So we'll stick with it. This lake has also got some really nice walleye in it. So hopefully we can see a mix today. And I'm in a drastic need of covering up my hands. Windy, cold today. That's a start.
StrikeMaster introduces the new Lithium 40 volt. Everything you've ever wanted in an ice auger. With a 40% increase in cutting speed over the competition and up to 100 holes per charge, the Lithium 40 volt has the power and stamina you need to hunt down your next big bite. And for a limited time, all Lithium 40 volt augers come with a spare battery, free. The new Lithium 40 volt, only from StrikeMaster. From the first time you pick up a tuned-up custom rod, you'll know you're holding something special. A rod not mass-produced, but built one at a time by the hands of gifted craftsmen. Rods like the Precision, ice fishing's most versatile multi-species rod, or the Precision Noodle with a tip so sensitive you'll never fish a spring bobber again. And the Commander, the rod that's never met a big fish it couldn't best. Tuned-up custom rods. Ice rods handcrafted for you and the way you fish.
This winter, set a trap for your next trophy with iFish Pro. Ideal for all species, iFish Pro is an innovative fishing system that allows an angler to use their favorite rod and reel instead of trying to manage the fish hand over hand.
There's a flag right there.
Complete your ice fishing arsenal with iFish Pro, tactical ice gear that puts the fight back into tip-up fishing.
Look at that.
Find iFish Pro online at ifishpro.com or at your favorite sporting goods retailer.
Got him! That looks kind of walleye-ish.
Yes, it is. If I can get his head up the hole. Yes, sir. Come here. Ha ha ha! Yeah! Woo! I got another one down there waiting, Mr. Marcus.
You better get down there.
That is a nice walleye. I'm gonna keep a few fish today, but he gets a free pass for being a little bit long on one end. With perch running around, don't feel nearly as motivated to keep a walleye like that. So we'll let that one go. Crunched that UV green rattle spoon. Dig it. Now it's a lot colder than it's been, so we won't keep these fish out of the water very long. They freeze up pretty fast, so back it goes. Bye, walleye. Whew. All right, good start this morning. Why fish would want to bite today when it's been so warm the last couple of days is beyond me. Why would you choose today?
I don't know.
All right, I will grab some minnows.
Got the ripping wrap down, and I got 2 of them down there. There we go.
All right, Marcus. Big perch. Big perch.
No.
Nope,
Big
walleye.
walleye.
Nice. Atta baby.
There we go. Got that
What did
one.
you get him on?
Yeah, that one there and that number 4 UV green ripping wrap.
These fish are really prettily colored.
Yeah, they are.
Nice greens to them.
You know, this one came in with another buddy too. I mean, they're both just sharking up at it, and took a little coaxing, but got him up about 3 foot, and then he just smacked it.
Love it. Very cool, man.
I'm gonna get this one back in here. It's pretty cold today. So today, I'm using a number 4 rip and wrap. UV green seems to be the color. I've kind of ran UV orange and a couple other not UV colors. And James, he's had pretty good luck on the UV green, so I just switched over. I decided to try a rip and wrap, and I had 2 of them come in right away, and that one just smacked it.
There he is. Look at this thing, Marcus. An absolute beast. How many species are in this thing?
Just 3, I guess.
That thing is huge.
Yeah, look at how tall that fish is.
Shrimp fed.
Yep.
That right there is the trifecta for this guy.
All nice fish too.
I was not expecting that when it popped to the surface. Super fish. Gonna fire him back. He's not what I would consider the best table fare.
Nah, a little big.
But fantastic fun to catch.
Yes.
Call me surprised a little bit. Did you know they were even in here?
I've heard of them, but I've never seen any, so I kind of, you know, you hear things and...
You hear stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna sit here for a little bit and let my hands uncrinkle, because they're pretty cold.
A little crusty right now.
Right. That was cool.
Yeah.
I was thinking big perch. Didn't fight like a walleye, didn't hit like a walleye, but...
Didn't look like a perch either.
Nope, missing some distinct bars. Oofta. All right.
All right, back to
at
it.
Woo.
Oh, here's a good mark. Really good. Come on. There you go.
Yeah! Whee! It's so windy I can barely hear what you're saying, but I do understand that's a good mark.
I think it's another one of those nice walleyes.
I got the grippers ready. You get him on that rip and wrap again?
No, I had to drop the flash champ back down.
You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice one. Oh, don't let me drop your fish.
There we go.
Touchdown.
Just barely in the beak.
That's all you gotta get.
I got it though.
Right.
I'll get this out here. Oh, just barely got it right in the nose. Let me get her back in. It's a nice fat South Dakota walleye there. Kind of set up here on an edge, and right here, it's not the bottom of the break, but maybe 6 inches higher. And I've been sitting here with this rip and wrap, and I've been getting a few fish to come in. Had another one come in, didn't get it to bite. I dropped that flash champ down, and I stopped it at about 2.5 foot. I only had to jig it a few times, and then that fish came flying and just smoked it.
In-Depth Outdoors, Spot on the Spot ID.
On today's Spot on the Spot ID, we're going to talk about how changing water levels in the glacier lakes out in South Dakota have really changed the way anglers are approaching these bodies of water. Now, when I was out about 5 years ago in South Dakota, we fished the same body of water that we're fishing today with Marcus. And at that time, the water levels were about 4 feet higher, and we were fishing for these walleyes completely differently. We were up in flooded timber right at the bases of the trees, and we're targeting those fish in that heavy cover. Fast forward to today, and what we're seeing is these fish are behaving completely differently. They're out away from that flooded timber. Now, there might be times of year when they're in there, but they're not in there today. What we're seeing is these fish want to be relating to shoreline breaks and points that taper out and intersect with the main basin of this lake. Now, as an example, I've got a lake in that area. This is not the lake we fished that day. We don't want to put really unnecessary pressure on a very small body of water, but as an example, I think this will really ring true. When I first fished this body of water about 5 years ago, these shallow areas would be just full of flooded timber, and the walleyes were using that as a shelter and as a place to feed. 5 years later, after a significant water drop, these areas, these shallow arms and bays that were so full of walleyes are pretty much devoid, with most of the fishing activity taking place out on the main lake on what walleye anglers would consider more typical structure. Points and sharp breaks are really concentrating fish feeding activity, and we were lucky enough to find an area where a point on the lake tapered out, hit the deepest water in that area, which was about 11 feet, and we found some coontail, some green weed that was intersecting at that exact same depth. All day long, we had fish moving through that area to come in and feed, and we were there waiting for them. So keep that in mind the next time you're out and fishing these glacier lakes out in South Dakota. Things have changed dramatically in the last 5 years. This area really needs some rain or snow, but until then, fish these lakes more like traditional bodies of water that you'd fish back in Minnesota, as an example, and you're going to be a lot more successful out there on the ice.
lithium shuttle, only from Markham Technologies. Okuma Fishing Tackle offers a complete lineup of reels for the die-hard ice angler. The Okuma Samar 10 and Inspira 20 are a perfect match with your favorite panfish or walleye ice fishing rod. Both feature a long stem handle that fits comfortably in a gloved hand. Cyclonic flow rotor technology that throws water off the reel to minimize ice buildup. And a drag system optimized for use in extreme conditions. Everywhere, every day, every fish. Okuma Fishing Tackle is inspired fishing.
At Aluma, we make the longest lasting, most dependable enclosed trailers on the road today. By building quality our competition just can't match. Our all aluminum construction gives you a heavy duty but lightweight trailer that can handle your tough hauls. Aluma trailers are engineered for ease of use with you in mind. All backed by our unbeatable 5-year warranty. Work or play, get there. With Aluma, we're in it for the long haul.
Proving yet again that the best never rest, Otter introduces Otter Thermal Tech, the proprietary full thermal shell found on every Otter shelter. Beginning with the all-new XT-H hub shelters and the all-new lightweight one-man XT hideout, on up to the ever-popular XT and XT Pro Series shelters that have earned a near-legendary reputation for unmatched toughness and durability. At Otter, we know stopping at good enough is way overrated. This ice season, see for yourself how the best just keep getting better.
Wind trip. All right, I better go get it, huh? Windy, cold today.
There's one. There we go, James.
It's so windy, boss, I couldn't hear you.
The only reason I heard it is because I was sitting right next to it.
Well, I'm glad you were. That was a sucker, wasn't it?
Yes, this
Man,
was.
those fish are fat.
Yeah, what a nice one, huh?
All we catch are nice ones here. Well, not true. We've had a couple of smaller fish, but man, the average size on these keeper fish are just awesome.
Well, that's why all these big fish are here. They're feeding on these little ones.
I love it. We've had an awesome day and it's not even done yet.
That sure set hook is perfect right there in the corner of the mouth. Get this girl back in there. And I'm gonna get another sucker on here for prime time. There we go.
Oh, there we go. I think Marcus and I are starting to get a better feel, just a little guy, but getting a better feel for what we're really fishing here. Boy, he smoked that spoon. Not all the fish in here are giants. He's an up-and-comer, but what we've found is we're actually getting these fish right around the rim of a coontail bed, you know, weeds. And we can see them on our flasher. I was actually able to snag a couple fragments of them to see what they were. And lo and behold, there's nice green weeds down there in about 10 foot of water. Just a little guy, throw him back. But I'll show you what I'm talking about here on my flasher. We basically have some weed tops that come up and they kind of fold over about a foot off the bottom. So we've got these walleyes and crappies and perch using that as kind of their little feeding area. We've got lots of smaller perch in there, some smaller walleyes that these larger fish could be feeding on. But really, once we get away from that coontail, we're not contacting fish at all anymore, and there really isn't a very big patch of it. Now, I wish we had the water clarity to show you what that looked like. We definitely don't. Underwater camera is not going to work here, but trust me, this little corner of vegetation out in about 10 foot of water is a gold mine. So here, I'll show you what it looks like. So here's the bottom, and about half a foot above bottom, you can see that gap in the mark, the return on my LX7. And then you've got these tops of weeds that are kind of folded over. They're not straight up and down anymore. And that kind of gives that space where these predators are roaming. And what we're doing is we're jigging above those visible weed tops. And in this hole, it's kind of a thick single band. But as we jump around, we'll get into some holes where you can see lots of the little frills on the healthy vegetation. But the point is, these predators are cruising underneath that mark that we see on our fish finder, and if we fish above it, they basically use it as a kind of an ambush point, if you will. They come flying up to the vegetation and hit these spoons, and not all the fish have been big, but most of the fish we've caught today have been incredibly nice sized.
StrikeMaster introduces the new Lithium 40 Volt. Everything you've ever wanted in an ice auger. With a 40% increase in cutting speed over the competition and up to 100 holes per charge, the Lithium 40 Volt has the power and stamina you need to hunt down your next big bite. And for a limited time, all Lithium 40 Volt augers come with a spare battery, free. The new Lithium 40 Volt, only from StrikeMaster. Markham's new pocket-sized handheld underwater cameras, the Recon 5 and 5 Plus, use a 5-inch color display to deliver superior screen detail and employ a combination of dark water LED and infrared lighting to punch through the darkness. The Recon 5 Plus adds a built-in DVR and on-screen display for critical information, previously only available on full-sized underwater viewing systems. This winter, see what you've been missing with a Recon from Markham Technologies, the undisputed leader in underwater cameras.
Came screaming in. Here it comes back. There you go. Oh, James, look at this.
Yeah!
Look at this one. Man, I thought this was a walleye. It came in, I mean, a nice thick mark. I thought
That thing is sick.
And then it left me, and I ripped it a couple times, and then it shot 2.5 foot off the bottom of the smoke.
You know, usually I'm like, put those fish back. I kept that perch earlier today that I kind of gilled up. Can we keep that one too? Because I can make a lot of, out of one fish, but two would be better.
Yeah, we're gonna take this one home so you can have a holiday meal with it.
Thank you. My wife would be wondering what's wrong with me walking in the house with one perch.
Man, these are nice. I can't believe how filled out they are already.
I mean, that's a 1.5 pound, 1.75 pound perch, 1.5 pounds at least.
Yeah.
Big perch. All right.
You know they're big when they're hitting number 4 ripping wraps.
I love talking to you, but I can do that after dark. I'm going to keep going. There he is. Oh, not a super giant, I don't think. Could be a perch, could be a walleye. We've had the sun peek out here just as the sun's about to set, and it is beautiful. Come on, fish. What we got? I don't want to knock him off at the hole. It wasn't a super hard hit by any means. Not sure on the hook placement. Oh, nice walleye. Right in the snoot. Ah, here we go. I tell you what, we've had some super nice fish today, and it's not over. This has not been a fast and furious bite, but I actually prefer it this way, where all the fish are quality. You know, this one here is actually a little small, lower than our average, that's for sure, but we'll take them. We're kind of hoping for a fast-paced bite here in this last half hour, so we're not going to mess around too much. Gonna fire that one back. Great colors, great looking fish at a beautiful time of day. Back you go, fish. See you later. All right, goodbye. I'll take a few more just like that, please. Round out a fantastic day. Haven't changed much of anything. Got the iFish Pros out, fishing the larger suckers. You know, that's kind of our MO. And then I've got same 1/8 ounce VMC green UV rattle spoon. I tell you what, in these stained waters like this, that's a money bait right there. Just a little bit of noise. And scent it up with the minnow head. Alrighty. You know what? It has been a fiercely cold day. The winds are just whipping. Been very rewarding though. Been able to catch some really nice fish. You know, typically there's quite a bit of traffic over here. These lakes around Webster, and the wind kept everybody away today. That's all right. This cold weather we've got coming will do some good things for the lake. We've got 8 to 10 inches here, but that'll really add on fast. And I know we mentioned it earlier in the show, but I really want to mention it again. Anybody that's going to come over here needs to be mindful that these lakes, even the really small ones, didn't all freeze at the same time. There's lots of open water, and that will be froze over by the time you get here, which means you'll have 8 to 12 inches in some areas and 2 inches in the other. So check with the bait shops. Probably don't want to venture off the beaten path unless you've seen somebody else go there successfully. You probably don't want to be the guy being the pioneer unless you're willing to drill holes out in front of where you're trying to get to. Because this area of open water over here, it's been so windy, it's been white capping all day long.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's show. And although we had a ton of fun out there on the ice, let me tell you, that wind and that cold definitely took it out of Marcus and I. Real winter is finally here. It's going to set things up great going into 2018 because we're finally going to have the ice we need across the ice belt to really get out and stretch our wings a little bit, hit some new bodies of water. Now, Marcus Quam has an incredible understanding of how to approach these shallow sloughs out near Webster, South Dakota. If you want to see it for yourself, definitely look him up, realtherapyguideservice.com. Before we go, I want to point out this is our last show of 2017. We've had a good season so far, and we're looking forward to some big things in 2018. So make sure you keep tuning in. From all of us here at In-Depth Outdoors, thanks for watching. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next week.
For more info on the latest fish reports, gear recommendations, and hottest techniques, connect with us online at indepthoutdoors.com or follow us on Facebook at In-Depth Outdoors. And if you enjoyed today's show, be sure to let our sponsors know.